Yeah, one of the main things that you know what? Hold that thought. Hold that thought, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Dude, why can't I speak right now?
Is it different?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Comics Grind. I'm one of your hosts, Nico Rodriguez.
And I'm Ken, aka Comic Ken, on YouTube.
Is there someone over there too?
And I'm Justin Prine.
And welcome back to another weekly comics discussion. We are here live and in person at Eastern RimCon 2023. It's been pretty fantastic, Ken. How's it been so far for you?
A little bit crowded, actually.
Yeah, we've got an awkward little setup here, but it's kind of like the quietest area of the convention. So
Yep.
It's been good stuff, but it's been pretty sweet because the cool thing about it is I've met both of these guys 2-3 years ago now at the same show. So now we've kind of came full circle, and now we're doing the pod and everything, and just chatting comics and all. So, but Ken, man, how's the show been for you so far? I know it's been a little bit of a hectic weekend, right?
Yeah. Nick got sick. He was the one that kind of introduced me to this convention, and Nick Patera, he's my mentor pretty much, and he got sick with COVID. I don't even know what happened with that. He might be faking it. I don't know. But I came to the show straight after work, and a friend, Ngozi Ukazu, she gave me her like card reader and a button maker even to help me out with the show. So shout outs to her for helping me out with that. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here. The show's been great so far, and yeah.
Yeah, it's been. What about you, Justin? So Justin and I are actually tabling together. We're splitting a table over here. We did the same thing last year, and it was a pretty sweet experience. But Justin, how's it been for you, dude? You been having fun at the show?
Oh yeah, guys, I've been having a lot of fun just hanging out, meeting new people, meeting pros, hanging out with y'all guys. I've been having a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for inviting me on the podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, Justin, he's fantastic comedy writer. He's also drawing his own comics and stuff now too. So it's been a blast. I think this show for me has kind of been real steady. I've had kind of like a lot of repeat customers, just from either the last 2 shows that I've done here, because this is my 3rd year doing the show, or just guys from like Comic Palooza or other kind of local Houston shows have come and kind of bought the stuff that they haven't bought before. And then I also got pretty sweet commission that I worked on last night. I was super excited about that. Nice. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun show. This is day 2, so we're actually recording right before day 2. So We've got about an hour until the doors open, then we'll have to get back into sale mode.
Yeah, we had a really good day 1. I sat next to Pop Man. I don't know how to pronounce it, Pop Mon or Pop Man, but I'm sat next to him, and it's just been a lot of. I've just been getting a lot of great advice from the creators here. I'm learning a lot, and really, I'm starting to consider doing conventions like more often, because I've tabled here before, and it's just a learning experience every time. And yeah, like Justin, how's your experience been with tabling?
So I have been tabling for a solid getting to 2 years now, and I mean I'm still learning every day, and Nico's helped me with a lot of my pitching your comic at a decent rate, so you can explain the comic in a short couple of words, and that is very important to not.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about that in the last episode, right? I think. Well, yeah. According to whenever this releases, maybe it's a couple episodes ago, but yeah, it's super crucial, I think. But So you've had pretty good success with getting your stuff concise, direct to the customer, and just kind of letting them know what your book's about.
Yeah, I'd say it's like an art form that you almost have to master and just try to articulate what your book is about in a couple of seconds. So, Ken, are you able to give that, like, your book a little pitch to the people?
Yeah, I've actually had like 3 people come up and ask me like, "Hey, what's your book about?" And I always start off with like, "Hey, my character is the son of a school shooter," and that's exactly their reaction. Like they kind of go like, "Oh, that's different," and then I just kind of like fumble the rest of the pitch. I'm just like, and then he has to kind of become a superhero and do this and that. But yeah, like just actively pitching to people who come up to the table is helping me to refine it more and sharpen it and make it into something that people can understand in a couple of sentences. So the last 3 times, like I'm just thinking about how it sounds, how people are reacting to the premise, and then what I can do to refine it from there.
Yeah, I think I like what you said there, Justin. It's kind of like an art form in itself because it really is it's a pretty crucial part to doing comics. I mean, we got to learn to draw, we got to learn to write, we got to learn to letter, color, all this stuff. But
Market, yeah.
but marketing is like that last and final form of doing comics. And the best way to do it and to start is to start doing shows, get in there, just be nervous, go in there and just start telling people what your book is about, because that's the only way you can sell it. But speaking of that, we kind of had a pretty sweet night last night. After day 1 of the show, we got invited to kind of like a barbecue cookout with like some of the creators and vendors that came to the show this year, and we actually got some really good brisket, by the way. It was real nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
But we also got to sit right next to Ben Dunn, who is a famous creator at this point, Ninja High School, Warrior Nun,
Antarctic Press.
Yeah, and Antarctic Press. And we spent what, 2 hours with him? I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was about 2 hours that we were just chatting with him. And he gave us like his whole spiel on Kickstarter, his methods, because according to him, he runs about 4 Kickstarters a year. Yep. So, we asked him a ton of questions, man.
Yeah, it was a huge knowledge download, and he said he's run more than 40 Kickstarters in the past. So it was just like we were just soaking it all up.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I think I know Ken was taking notes the whole time.
Yeah, I was taking notes.
He got some good stuff.
Yeah. And we'll basically let y'all in on what we know now based on what Ben Dunn has told us. And then what I'm going to do is actually run a Kickstarter based on his notes to see if it's actually a viable thing. He's already proven it with his methods, but I'm going to see like, okay, can we break out of this comics grind by trying to replicate his results?
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. We could even make like almost like a series on that thing, kind of like like the Kickstarter journey. So like you got all this information, you implemented it, and kind of updates and kind of see how it works.
Yeah.
Because he gave what were some of the, Justin, you remember any of the kind of highlights that Ben told us about?
And maybe Ken can help with his list and the further podcasts. But I mean, keep your tiers at like 5. Yeah. I think it's common to set a reasonable goal. Be prepared for shipping and shipping costs. So just
I think that I think one of the, what did he say, like no more than 8 tiers was like one of the things, and I think he said like the sweet spot was like between 5-6 tiers was kind of the main thing. Was there anything else that he kind of said? We'll go more into like detail in like what he told us, but
one of the main things that he
breaking news.
Come on in.
Breaking news.
You know what?
Breaking news.
Hold that thought.
Whoa.
Hold that thought, everybody.
Jeez.
We
guys,
What's going on here?
we got a comics legend that just wandered into the shot. Jay Lee, Mr. Jay Lee.
Hello, and this is Jerry.
Hi guys, how y'all doing?
We've had Jerry on the podcast a few weeks ago.
So I just want to say that you need to watch this podcast. It's the best in the world. It is so cool to watch all these folks just connect and talk about their experience, in the indie world. Because in a couple of years, they're going to be, headed in the direction of Mr. Lee over here. So I'm just saying, it's going to be super dope.
We hope so. We knock on wood for that.
Do you have a few words for the people?
It's weird being in a school again.
Yeah.
Nice library. This is a nice school.
Yeah.
I was just hoping there were some kids that we could bully, but I guess not, right?
Oh, there'll be some out there. You can throw some ink on them or something, Just
Catch some kids reading comic books and just make fun of them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
like
second.
this is how it used to be.
Right.
Isn't that what happened to all of us to begin with?
Yeah, you guys are lucky. Comics are cool now, but when I went to school in high school in the 80s, if you were caught reading comic books, it was like being caught with porn or something.
It's like, what is that?
Actually, not as cool as porn.
Yeah.
There we go.
What would you say to people just getting started out in indie comics? The whole show is about like going from a day job to indie comics full time. So how would you say like how did you start out and get established in the indie comic scene?
These days, comics, it's tough to make a living in comics.
Right.
They say don't quit your day job. I would definitely recommend not doing that because even if you get a job, you don't know where your next job is coming from. So it's not just the indie comic scene, but with Marvel or DC, being a freelance creator, you don't know where your next gig is coming from.
Right.
So just don't count on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Always have a backup plan.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think that's pretty key there.
Yeah, that's really like salient advice. Just like keep your expectations like tempered and not like jump out of your day job just thinking like you'll make it in comics and whatnot.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
we can just dream to be like guys like Jay Lee.
hey, I'm doing an interview in a school library. How well am I doing here?
Hey, this is amazing, man.
Yeah, this is
this is
great.
amazing. What do you mean? This is the classiest podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. But seriously, just do the best work you can, as long as you don't expect anything from it. So just do it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for potential readers. Don't do it for thinking that it'll lead to something else. Just do it for yourself. And I think as long as your voice is authentic, I think people will recognize it and the work will speak for itself.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Jay. We appreciate it, man.
Oh, no
Yeah,
problem.
Thank you for those
All right.
words, man.
So,
I've got arthritis.
oh really?
Oh,
People
do not
I'm
harm
old
the,
now.
the drawing hands.
So people shake hands and they squeeze it.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah, they
hurts.
really do.
And then they do this thing where you do the fist bump, but then they punch your hand.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Once again, guys, check out this podcast. It's the best. Like I said, I throw it on, and while I'm working and taking care of stuff for Eastern Rim, these guys keep me company, and I'm telling you, it's just so awesome. So thank y'all for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, the school. Thank you, everybody. And hope we'll see you next year at Eastern Rim.
Sweet.
yeah, when I was invited to the Eastern Rim, I thought I was going to Asia, but it's like,
Far
wait,
Eastern.
what? Houston? What?
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. So that was an excellent interlude to the episode for sure.
Right.
So I guess
I remember what we were talking about.
yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah, one of the pieces of advice that Ben Dunn gave us was like not to focus too much on stretch goals. That's the word I was looking for. He said not to focus too much on stretch goals because it tends to take away from your bottom line rather than add to the profits that you're making. What you want to focus on rather instead is add-ons, and just make add-ons your moneymaker. Don't focus too much on stretch goals. Put it more into add-ons.
Yeah. yeah. Ben Dunn gave us a ton of good advice.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of like break that down a little better later on, and detail some of those things that he said.
And we might even run an actual experiment just to see how it works out overall. I think everyone's nervous just from having Jay Lee pop into the stream. My mouth is dry actually. I don't.
I guess so. Awesome dinner. Got some real good information there.
Yep.
Had some good food. So now we're kind of just on to day 2. We did have a viewer and fan and also creator too on Twitter kind of reach out to us when he saw that we were at the convention. I think.
Shout outs to Martial Arts on Twitter.
There we go. And he was kind of asking a little bit about table setup, maybe just talking a little bit about that. I think we're either going to drop some B-roll into the episode with our table setups, or it might be a separate video. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet.
Yeah.
But let's kind of talk a little bit about table setup. So we kind of have 2 point of views here. So Ken is tabling himself, and then Justin and I, we've got a dual setup, so we're kind of splitting the table, which is, it's a very, guys that are starting out, it's a very beneficial thing because, you split the table, you pay half the cost of the table wherever you go. If it's $300, you're paying $150 a piece. So Ken, a little bit about your table setup. I know that you've kind of had a few hiccups this weekend with some prints and stuff, but how are you kind of approaching table setup?
Well, yeah, this weekend I had a lot of prints just not come in. They didn't ship on time, so I'm basically using a lot of old material from past shows. So everything on my stuff says Air Rider and not Air Rider High School Hero, so the merchandise isn't updated yet. But what I did for this show is if you take a look at the video that I did, I posted on Twitter as well, the most of the table is actually just my portfolios opened up so that it's taking up space. It's kind of like a filler. It's just there so that people can flip through. It's just pages of work that I've already done inside the book, so people can just flip through and take a look at it. And I even got somebody wanted to buy a piece of work, an assignment that I did from the Kubert School, just having the portfolio there. The rest of the space I took it up with the posters, the prints that I had before, and the commission list. So the main 2 things that I focus on in setting up my table, and this is also thanks to Ngozi, who gave me some table stands, is the verticals, the things that are standing up, is the things that you want people to most notice to look at when they cross by your table. And so I got my books standing up on one end. I got another book that people can flip through and see what Air Rider looks like. It's my last copy. It's actually the first original copy, the proof copy that I'm not selling or giving away, but people can look through it.
Valuable.
Yeah,
I might go buy that. I might go buy that one.
But yeah, I got those set up vertically. I got the commission list set up vertically, so people will notice those things right away. And then I have my cards out in front to take for free, and I have a little thing that says free so that people can just walk by and take a card and just walk off with it. And that's basically mainly it for my table setup. I also have a little stand that shows what kind of payment is accepted. I have a little square card reader that I can plug into my phone and accept swipes and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I have my table set up. I was originally supposed to share with Nick Patera, the guy who makes Axe Wielder John, but he was sick this time, so they basically gave me my own table next to Pop Man.
I dig your table setup. Your table setup right now is original art focus. So when people people who are interested in to see how those pages come alive and the actual ink work and all that, yours is a really good eye catcher. So people walking by, they'll stop, flip through.
I want to say it's basically making the best of a bad situation. I didn't get the prints that I actually wanted to come in. It was supposed to be Spider-Man and Nier Automata or whatever. They were supposed to come in, but
I didn't. So you had actual fan prints. prints too?
Yeah, I
Okay.
had some fan prints, but they didn't come in. So like, I'm just making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes that's all you can do, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes printers just take a little longer than we'd like. So yeah, that's awesome. So, like I said, Justin and I, we're splitting our table, so ours is set up a little bit differently. I'd say that ours is, more focused on like our printed work. Justin, how are you approaching? So we're basically splitting our table like, straight in half. One side Justin's stuff, one side is my stuff. We sit behind, our respective work. Justin, how are you kind of approaching your half of that table?
For like first and foremost, I like Ken, I'm trying to keep some of my comic books visible, so I do have the vertical stands showing off the comics. People can also pick up comics just laying on the table. I do have all my Zelle and all my how to payment methods. They're all available for anybody that wants to purchase and pick up a book. And then kind of like right in the middle, Nico, Milton Lawson, and Chris DeRay have a local Houston comic book zine. We have that kind of somewhat in the center because we're kind of sharing that we kind of all collabed on a book together. And it has an interesting pay what you want method, which has been very helpful at all the comic conventions that we have been going to recently.
Yeah. So right there in the middle, we have zines kind of laid out, showcased, and then sorry, right underneath that we have pay what you want in big bold letters, just so people can know. You can pick it up for free if you want. You can give $1, you can give $2, $5, whatever, $20 if you really want to. But really, we're trying to just show like, hey, that work there is the money you contribute to it is paying for like the next printing. We're not really benefiting off of that money that you give to the zine. So that's been cool. It's also been a way to attract other creators because like other Houston local creators will see it and they'll be like, whoa, what's that? I'm a Houston guy. I'm a creator as well. Can I potentially contribute? So we've got a couple guys that have just walked by and just curious about that. So that's good. So my half the table, I've basically got my two primary books showcased at the kind of forefront. My first chapter print of West Not South is there, plus another graphic novel that I've done called Roba Prehistoric Wizard. So those are kind of like my two focus points. So when people come to me and they're like, oh, what's going on? And I'll ask them, hey, can I tell you a little bit about my books? And then I'll give them those short elevator pitches that we were speaking about earlier. Right. And then to the left of that, I have, or to the right of that, whichever way you're looking, I've got a little stand that I bought that showcases some of the mini prints that I've done. I'm not a huge print guy, but I do like drawing, various characters, and I do understand the benefit to having, pre-existing characters at your table. It's eye catchers. I've got guys like BoJack Horseman. I've got Alien, Predator, Street Sharks is kind of a big one that people notice a lot. But they're small. They're 6x8. I don't want them to, intrude on my actual comics and stuff. It's just there as like a supplemental thing. Hey, if you're into prints, I got them, and at a very good price too. So that helps with kind of people walking by. And then right in front of the prints, I have a 9x12 portfolio, and that contains, it's about half of it contains like my original pages from West Not South, so watercolored pages that, people flipping through that, they like to see that. It's colored work, painted work. It's kind of cool to see, physical copies of that. And I also have like the sketches that I've done, watercolored sketches, so that kind of helps with, I've got, like Godzilla, King Kong type stuff, things that I like drawing that I've drawn, and those are for sale, and, various other little sketches if I have them, some various prints in the back as well. And then I have just some stickers that I've designed there as well. I have my I have a little cardboard cutout thing of all my social media, so people can scan the barcode if they need it.
Right.
So
that's like really important, having a like a little QR code that people can scan, because it's just like a really easy way to get them onto your Linktree or onto your social media, so that they know everything that you're doing online. And it's just like they pull out their phone, scan like a QR code picture or whatever, and then like they're instantly linked to everything you're doing. It's kind of a free way to get them involved in your stuff without having to either take them on to an email list or like sell a book. It's like giving them a business card. But that actually brings me into the topic of like sales and what and how we have done so far with the weekend. I guess, Justin, did you want to start with that?
First of all, I'm lucky that I have any sales. I'm happy that
I
anybody.
think we all are.
Yeah, me too.
We make all this stuff in our bedrooms, like for somebody to be even like listen and be interested in your concept, maybe not even buy it. Like, I mean, I think that says something. I mean, we're doing all this stuff on our own,
Right.
I mean, that's an interesting whole nother podcast y'all could do. Is like, yeah, this is all done in y'all's home, and then this is the time where we come out and show people what we've done. And we don't know if people are going to like it. We don't know if people are going to buy it. So we're just giving it a shot. So again, I think that that pay what you want zine that we're doing is doing the best for me. And so I've been selling a few of those, which has been nice because I think it's a cool thing that we're doing for the local community. Or the scene. So, but quite honestly, I haven't sold any of my books yet.
Pitch harder, man.
I gotta pitch harder.
So far for me, I've made like maybe $25 in sales, and maybe
25 more than you came in with.
yeah, like maybe if I hustle harder today, I can make back like gas money it took to get here. So yeah, like I've been selling the main sellers have been my like my mini zines, like the mini books, but that's really the only other thing that's been on sale besides my my prints. They're for like a couple bucks on the table. And so people buy the prints and the books because they're pretty much the only things available. The only other thing I've had is somebody express interest in a portfolio piece that I did for school. And besides that, that's pretty much it that I've done for sales. But it's always nice to get a sale. Like, it's like, oh, this person actually expressed enough interest in what I'm doing to buy it and check it out. Or if I didn't get a sale, at least I could get a somebody to sign up for the email list. People have signed up so that they can get notified when like the printed version comes out. So email list, even somebody taking a business card to be more interested in what I'm doing, like that just makes me like, okay, cool. Like what I'm doing is actually possibly resonating with some people. And even like sticking around and having long conversations with some of the people that come up is nice. It's fun. It's like, okay, I'm not sitting in my room alone just drawing for nothing,
Yeah, and it's nice to get like those email subscribers too. You have like a list there, so that's real good too.
Yeah.
I think for me, like I said up top, for the most part, my business has been repeat customers. I did pretty steady yesterday. I think. I think I might have had like maybe one or two new guys come up and purchase something. But most of it was all the repeat customers that hadn't checked out some of the work yet. Or I also had, you got something, Ken?
Yeah, I wanted to say shout outs to Christian and Nathan. They're actually customers from Nico. They know the podcast. Like they're actually fans of the podcast. So I was happy when they came up. They told me they knew about Nico and they had West Not South in their hands. So when they came up to my table, I was like, all right, bet, cool. We got like people watching the show, so that was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. They're awesome dudes, man. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, they're getting started with their comics, so it's like
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that was the majority of my business. I did have a cool commission to do yesterday, so that's going to kind of help me out even for a little bit further in this one. This show it's an old school comic convention. It's people who are all about the books, all about the comics and stuff. So it's awesome that we've got people coming in here and talking to us for an hour or two even.
Yeah.
I saw one guy at your table that was you guys were in a good
Yeah.
deep comics conversation.
Yeah, it was a very solid conversation. Shout outs to Jason.
Yeah, man, it's been great. So yeah, for me it's been steady. I think it's definitely been a success. Even with doing that commission that I did, it was basically the commission was his favorite character was Impulse from Young Justice. I'm pretty sure he's Kid Flash, or he was Kid Flash,
Yeah, he's
and now
one of
he's
them.
Impulse.
One of them like fast guys.
But so it was Impulse meets the band Every Time I Die, which I'm a huge fan of Every Time I Die, and so is the commissioner as well. So it was super fun. So I think that even alone was like pretty sweet to have, even aside from a few book sales and everything. So, but hey, that was only day one. We got day two now.
Right.
So what are your kind of expectations for day two? You guys got high hopes, medium hopes, a little lower hopes than yesterday maybe. What you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Justin while I mold my thoughts.
Oh, well, thanks. No, I mean, I always have high hopes, man. Honestly, I have a lot of fun when I come to these comic conventions. I mean, just hanging out with Nico, hanging out with Ken, like-minded people, hanging out with Milton, meeting Jerry. I met Jay Lee. He crashed my first podcast. It was worth it. But no, I'm having fun. And to be clear, I did actually make a sale. I do remember a sale. So thank you, guys. But again, I mean, I'm having fun, and it's just worth it just to be hanging out with like-minded people and such. I'm 34 years old. I didn't think I was making new friends. So I'm happy that I got some new friends to pal around with.
Dope.
I mean, that right there is worth its weight in gold. I mean, making new friends at 34. Come on, dude.
Yeah. I was. I'm just happy to be out of the house and not like drawing by myself anymore. Like just being out here. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I can actually like talk face to face with potential new fans and sell my book and all that. And I've already talked with like a few people who are actually doing this full time. And I'm thinking about like, hey, maybe I can go to more conventions and see how that plays out. Because I didn't think you could make like a full-time living off of just going to conventions and developing your book and all that. But now that I see it's like a viable option, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try out some more in the future. So yeah, it's been a great experience so far. And then hopefully today I'm just like, I've already won, you know what I mean? Like I've already gotten so much out of this experience from yesterday and last night with the banquet dinner and all that. That today is just gravy, you know, it's just a victory lap. I'm just going to be
The icing on top.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm just going to be trying to sell some more books and trying to make it back to trying to make enough gas money to get back home. And and then other than that, I'm just happy with the results so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good way to put it. You know, we've already won in this, whether it's financially or it's, you know, networking, you know, new ideas, new kind of aspirations or whatever. But I think the one last thing that I need to do in this show is I need to go and peruse all of the dollar bins.
Oh yeah.
So that's honestly my main goal for today is I've got to go. That's my favorite thing to do at conventions is go to the dollar bins. Sometimes on Sundays they go down to 50 cents a comic. Right. So that's the best thing, and I'm on the lookout for some grooves. I got a list of all the grooves that I have, and I need to find the ones that I don't. So that's my main goal for the end of today.
Sergio
Aragones, yes sir. Yep, I'm huge fan of his, and the thing about his stuff is it doesn't get recollected very much. Really? Like the only things that I really see like in print, and maybe that's not insane amounts of money, is like his newer Gru stuff. But I'm trying to find like the 80s 90s Marvel stuff that he was putting out with Marvel. So that's my main goal, and usually they're in the dollar bins. I don't know why, but stay there. I'll buy them all. Right. But any final words, guys? Any last things?
I'm really happy that Jay Lee came on. That was a great surprise by Jerry Schaefer. Shout outs to him for hosting this Comic-Con and for bringing us two together, because we wouldn't have met if we hadn't met at this con. So just happy that he put it all together and made this possible. What else? I'm glad you guys are watching the show. Check out our books. We'll be at more conventions in the future selling our merchandise and all that. And Justin, did you have anything to say? I'm out of words.
Oh, no, guys. I just wanted to thank y'all for having me on the podcast. I really do enjoy the podcast, and, never quit.
Cool. There it is.
On everything.
Special thanks to Mr. Justin Prine for joining us here today. But all right, guys. Ken, let the good people out there know where they can find you. Where can they read Air Rider?
I almost forgot about that.
Last part.
You guys can check me out on Twitter at thecomicsgrind and also on Instagram at comicsgrind. And you can read Air Rider, High School Hero on Global Comics. It's free online. You can read all the chapters there. And I'll also be on my own website pretty soon. So
hold there, Ken. We've got one more
another guest. All right.
that has come through. We were speaking about him a little bit earlier in our wise conversation. So you guys are getting double the creators.
Oh, geez,
this is Mr. Ben Dunn is in the house.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're kind of wrapping up a little bit here, Ben, but let everybody know out there just one maybe one idea, one principle about starting in comics, breaking into comics. Is there any kind of advice you could give other? This is mostly like aspiring creators, people who are trying to start from the bottom, make it to the top. Is there any kind of advice type of things that you can give the watchers?
The one piece of advice I always give people is that if you want to pursue something, don't the best time to start is now, and don't let an idea stay in your head, because it doesn't do us any good if it's in your head if you don't share it with the rest of the world. So it's that's the only thing I could probably say is just don't wait, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's perfect, man. I think that's honestly that's the best way to wrap this up. Mr. Ben Dunn coming in here and telling you, make comics, make more comics, make comics. There it is. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.